Many Thomasians aired their opinion and support for their chosen candidates in the concluded 2022 national elections. Different student councils and organizations within the university also launched voter education projects discussing various topics ranging from choosing the right leaders to battling election-related disinformation. These projects have been significant for the youth as they comprise more than half of the entire voters' population. The results of mock polls by some organizations in the university revealed the interest of students in exercising their right to suffrage. With this kind of awareness, there is hope that the election will result in choosing a leader who will revive the pandemic-ridden economy and improve the lives of Filipinos. However, the electoral system was still hounded with issues like malfunctioning counting machines, jammed connectivity, and armed intimidation. And since the election was held during a pandemic, authorities also had to ensure that the casting of votes would not end up becoming a COVID-19 super spreader. Given that Thomasians hail from different parts of the country, the Flame asked, what were the experiences of the Thomasian first-time voters during the recently concluded elections?
So I'm Liam Sebastian C. Sanchez. I'm 19 years old and I'm a first-year medical technology student from the Faculty of Pharmacy, and I voted here in Naga City, Camarines Sur.
I'm Jasmine Manuel. I'm from 2Join 3, journalism, AB journalism. I voted here last April 28 ata, 2022 sa Doha, Qatar Embassy po.
Joshua Miguel Rivero. I'm a communication student, section ko ay 3Com4 at bumoto ako dito sa Dinalugihan Bataan.
My name is Janica Kate Buwan. I'm a first-year journalism student and I am also the incoming secretary of the Ortlet Student Council. And yung place na nag-vote ako is sa Quezon City sa District 2.
Now, during the day nung election na mismo, nitong May 9, medyo funny yung pakiramdam kasi para kang bumalik dun sa time na nag-face-to-face, na naka-scantron sheet kayo at kinakabahan ka sa isasagot mo kung tama ba tong sagot mo. But this time, you don't have the choice to erase it. Or kung magpapalit ka man, it's very hard to do it.
As a first-time voter, I was really excited to practice my right to suffrage and I would be able to contribute to the society na in the future. And then, I woke up really early, mga around 5:30 to avoid any crowds. And when I got to my voting precinct, it was actually very smooth lang. I waited for around 5 to 10 minutes until I got to vote.
After I've casted my vote, there was of course anticipation. And I really had so much faith that my vote is very significant. I guess it is very it comes natural to me as a first-time voter to be idealistic. On the day itself, I really a day before, I expected that there are gonna be a lot of people since this is a very contentious and polarizing elections. And coming from Naga, the city has been very vocal into supporting Lenny Robredo, who is from Naga City. I know that a lot of people will really do their best to come out and vote. So that
Ang fast-paced po nung nangyari that time. Parang from the time I registered here nung June 2021, sobrang parang doon pa lang ang bilis na. Tapos kinakabahan pa ako kasi baka mamaya hindi pala pwedeng ganun kasi first time voted tas dito. And then ayun nga, biglang nag-notify somewhere around March ata na pwede na daw moto nung April something, basta mga second week ng April, pwede na bumoto. Madami pong tao, kahit na kasi maliit po yung embassy, di ba? Yung embassy, super dami pong ginagawa doon. Hindi lang naman siya parang election, parang meron din other nagpapaayos ng passport or kaya yung residence ID. So, madami yung pasikot-sikot doon. Yung precinct namin doon, parang nakatago pa siya between all those things. So, parang, ayan. Medyo maliit talaga yung space, crowded. Tapos compared sa, well, yung point of comparison ko kasi niya sa Philippines is meron kayong separate chairs na hiwa-hiwalay kayo. Parang one seat apart ata kayo. Pero kami, alam niyo yung monoblock na table na bilog. Tapos hati-hati kami dong, apat kami. So medyo pag may nagsasagot, alam mo yung anxiety mo na baka makita ng iba yung sagot mo. Pero okay naman siya. Wala din kami ink. So yun. In-expect ko na konti lang yung tao kasi since onti nga lang yung OFW, ay yung mga tao, mga Filipino voters here sa Doha, tapos we're given a very large amount of time para makaboto kami. So hindi naman kami parang sa Philippines na one day isang bagsakan lahat kayo sabay-sabay susugod dun sa ano. Pero medyo madami pa din kami nung araw na yun. And balita ko, madami pa rin daw yung mga sumunod na araw kasi isa lang naman yung embassy, ayun nga, which is Doha. So parang pupunta dito lahat, even from Alcor, ganyan.
I really expected that it was going to be a smooth transaction simply because this is not anymore our first time to have an automated elections. So I was really expecting that it will be easier this time. And since I went there early in the morning, I was really hoping that I will be able to cast my vote at an earlier time. So I really expected that. I guess I am really hoping that things will be going right, especially here in Naga. So I did not have a hard time voting, and I did not encounter any instance that would make me feel uncomfortable about my first voting experience. And if
Siguro, another expectation na iniisip ko is this is more of a hopeful one na parang nag-expect ako in terms of sinong iboboto ng marami. Pero that expectation wasn't met.
Yung precinct finder na was circulating around social media, I think that was one of the few things that made the voting process much easier, especially for first-time voters like us or me. And it saved me talaga from the time and effort to find my name sa mahabang, alam ko, bago ka pumunta doon sa precinct mo, kailangan mo pang hagalapin yung name mo doon sa printed sheet and yung precinct room mo. So I guess yung precinct finder na yun, it was really effective.
the electoral board that was there were very transparent and approachable naman po. And in every classroom, there were physical distancing naman po when it comes to the chairs inside or the number of people permitted to vote at the same time po.
Commendable aspect are the teachers, especially siguro dahil sa presinto ko, dun sa nakita ko naman, di ba nasabi ko nag-jam yung VCM sa amin. Somehow, kinabahan sila, aminado sila na kinakabahan sila during that time kasi nagsasabi talaga sila na kinakabahan din sila. But at the same time, they were able to think quickly. Nakita ko yon na, tawagin na natin yung technician kasi baka magtagal pa tayo lalo dito. If alam nila na hindi na nila nakakayang i-troubleshoot themselves, hanap na sila ng assistance talaga na kayang lumutas noon nung problem na yon. Yung VCM generally, siya yung need ng improvement na nakita ko. Kasi kahit na light yung problem na na-experience ko sa loob ng presinto namin, sa iba sa balita ilang elections na ginamit yung VCM Di ba nakagamit ng SWOT analysis ang COMELEC at ang ang Smartmatic kung paano nila i-improve yung election. So, to lessen these kinds of the disruptions.
Here naman, ayun nga, parang hindi ko na-feel na naghintay ako kahit na may queue nung bago ako makakuha ng balota. Wala naman pong nakavisit na tao, people na may possibly cause ng chaos nung time na yan. Goods din sila sa pag-handle ng people kasi may tao dun sa may bukana pa lang ng precinct, parang may nagbabantay, parang babato po, ganun. So, pag sinabing hindi, dun po, ganun. Pag sinabi, dito po kayo, pasok po, diretso. Tapos ganun din, parang kahit saan may nagbabantay, parang hindi ka mawawala dun kasi yun nga, ang laki ng embassy.
A lot of journalists, especially female journalists, were able to step up to cover and air the concerns of the people, especially on the specific concern that a lot of voters were not able to get to the 7 p.m. cutoff because of the VCM machines that have been malfunctioning. Various organizations like NAMFREL, Contradaya, and PPCRV have been very visible throughout the elections in making sure that our votes are being counted.
Yung mga watchdogs, I think they played a crucial part ngayong election. Actually, hindi lang ngayong election. Every day naman sa mga ginagawa natin sa buhay, they really play a crucial part. Pero this election, we really saw the flaws and yung mga kailangan pang i-improve ng COMELEC. And for our journalists, hands down respect kasi yung reporting nila sa iba't ibang precincts and the way they handled the situation, how they transpired, the frustration ng mga Filipinos, for example, yung sa GMA News kay Mel Chanco and kay Vicky Morales, they really showed yung sa interviews with the COMELEC staff and chairperson, talagang they blatantly showed yung nararamdaman ng mga Pilipino sa halalan na hindi siya nagiging smooth as they promised and dapat talaga pinaghandaan pa siya ng mas maaga.
Yung mga poll watchers sa loob, I think there has to be an improvement in terms of briefing them on what has to be done, kung ano talaga yung ginagawa nila. Kasi as far as I can remember, poll watchers are not allowed to talk with the voters. Eh dun sa presinto ko, narinig ko pa na, sino binoto mo? Patingin nga. May ganun pang may mga ganun pang instances. So I think there has to be a need to improve yung briefing sa kanila para alam talaga nila yung gagawin. Kasi hindi naman natin sila masisisi if hindi sila na-brief ng maayos.
Ayun nga, I think it went smooth kasi hindi naman kami na-aberya during that time. Parang overall, mga lang ata ako, mga 10 to 15 minutes lang. Kahit medyo madaming tao kasi parang pagkakubalota upo na ganun tapos bigay na kaagad.
In terms of the national level, kung isa-sum up lahat, I could go as low as 3 or 4. Kasi isa sa mga tumatak sa akin, pagkatapos kong bumoto, pag-uwi ko sa bahay, binuksan ko yung TV at around 8 or 9 a.m. ata yun. Ang narinig ko agad is 3 volunteers ang patay somewhere in Mindanao. Hindi pa nagsisimula ang eleksyon. So the fact na may ganong klase ng instances and the number of BCM failures and the disruptions, doon ko ma-assess na it's a 3 or 4 for me. If I'm going to rate it 1 to 10. Hindi ako pwede mag-generalize lang dahil sa na-feel ko dito. And kailangan ko syempre tignan kung ano nangyari sa ibang lugar sa Pilipinas based sa pinipakita ng media. So, and there are credible sources naman. So,
well, to me, this is dubbed as the most expensive elections to date, right? And there have been around 2,000, specifically 1,800 defective VCMs, which could likely compromise 2% of the voting population or 1.1 million votes here in the Philippines. And it could be very critical, especially in local areas. But perhaps beyond just the conduct of elections, I believe we should have worked more on eradicating the system of disinformation entrenched on social media, especially on Facebook, where around 80 to 90 million Filipinos are active. Well, I just hope that there had been more active measures in place to fend off the lies that can deceive impressionable minds. In general, this 2022 elections for me is a case study of how politics has changed so much in conjunction with the advent of social media. And I guess now we are in a very precarious state where populism and illiberalism really thrives. But all things considered, as a first-time voter, I know that this elections is not the end for everyone. And I would like to think that this is just the beginning of a more empowered youth sector